Hey guys, today I want to talk about the 3 different stages of momentum. This was huge when I found this out. I was stuck in phase 1, but there's 3 phases and your goal is to get to phase 3, so let's jump into it. Phase number 1 is you have to create momentum. This is the hardest thing to do. It's like when you think about pushing a car, it's fully stopped, okay? And you gotta, and you just, a couple people, by the way, and as soon as that breaks, being standstill, right? That standstill. As soon as that breaks, it becomes easier to push the car. That's creating momentum. That's where a rocket, when you think about a rocket, right? And you see how much fuel and explosion and fire and combustion it takes to get that rocket off, that once it's going in motion, it doesn't require the same to create momentum. You look at anything, when you start a business, right? When you start a new habit, when you start working out, oh my goodness, man, this hurts. I hate this. I can't breathe. I don't feel good. Everything is sore. Why? You're going through phase 1, create momentum, right? That creation phase, right? Let me give you here. The fastest way to create momentum is to work on the front end of whatever you're trying to accomplish. So if it's business, you got to work on the front end of the business, right? What does that look like? More calls, more appointments, showing up early, staying late, more reading, more training, more preparation, more presentation preparation. Everything's got to get better. So you're putting in all the work on the front end. When you think about an investment, right? A business, you have to invest, right? Before you see any return. So everything's what? On the front end. See, the challenge is everybody wants to get paid the back end money on the front end work. And it doesn't work that way. Everybody wants a sexy body. Everybody wants a beautiful mansion. Everybody wants a beautiful family. But that work on the front end, man, that's where you're creating momentum. It's the most frustrating. It's, you know, in our business, people are quitting. Clients are canceling. Things are going wrong. Assistants are quitting. People aren't doing their job. You have a hard time retaining people. Everything's going wrong. There's a quote that we share with people, and we say the first 18 months, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Do you know what that's doing? That's testing your commitment. That's testing how big you dream. That's testing how much you're gonna how much you're gonna improve, how fast you're gonna learn the business, how fast you're gonna learn the products, how much you're gonna be committed to the system, how much you're gonna be committed to that process. That is creating momentum. What are we doing right now with social media? We're creating momentum. I was just talking to one of the guys. We literally produced some videos that are sick. That I'm like, you gotta go. I'm giving everything I got. No views, okay? No views on some videos. I'm like, man, we gotta do a better job of that. What can we do? Maybe we need to boost. Maybe we need to do this. Maybe we need to engage with comments. Maybe we need to figure out how we can incorporate more. How do we get it in front of people? Do we do a better cover? Do we do a better... So you're figuring things out. You're working. You're trying to process it. And guess what? You're getting better. Man, that's where you're getting better. That's typically like where you have the most growth as a person, as a leader, as a business, in anything. It's in the front end, man. You're taking on something new. Salute to you. Most people won't do it. Most people start and quit. You're following through. You're dealing with the problems, right? So that's creating momentum. Number 2, you have to maintain momentum. See, what happens when you win, you think, oh man, we made it. We freaking made it. Everything's going to be good. I can relax. I can chill. And then all of a sudden you lose clients, you lose agents, you lose cash flow. Something goes wrong. You didn't catch something that was going on in the office. You didn't catch the negative attitude. You didn't catch what was going on with the economy. You didn't prepare your teammates for the struggle. You didn't, instill discipline. You didn't process when there was an issue. You didn't prepare financially. You didn't understand that, hey, you know what? Wintertime is coming, and during December it's a little bit slower because holiday-itis, and you know what? I got to drive my guys more, so I got to build that mental toughness. I got to teach them, you know what? Hey, there's other people playing on Christmas Day, and these guys are getting paid millions of dollars, and you're watching them. Why are you a fan? Why aren't you a player? Man, you know what? I got to get my guys to read books. Man, I got to get my guys to really understand the products. I got to bring the right people to come train them. We got to go to certain conventions, right? You're trying to maintain this momentum, right? You're trying to keep it going. What did we do? What was working? Why did we get those results? What success leaves clues, so does failure. So what were we doing that was working? Right? What were we talking about? What was man, we were talking about the vision. We were talking about the dreams. Man, we were excited. Hey, we were tracking this data. We're not tracking that right now. Hey, man, we had a lot more pressure because we were smaller. Now that we're a little bit bigger, we got a little bit comfortable, right? So what are we doing to keep this momentum going, to keep the good things going, right? What do you need to do? You got to be aware of that. And then number 3, the third phase of momentum, this is where you just are, you're an animal. This is where you're all in. This is where like this becomes a game. This is where this becomes an obsession. And this is what it's called advancing momentum, where it's like you've done so many things right up until this point. You've figured out what the business is. You figured out the products. You figured out the presentations. You figured out the systems. You figured out staff. You figured out operating procedures. You figured out how to deal with conflict. You figured out how to market. You figured out how to make money. You figured out how to manage money. You figured out how to pay taxes. You figured out how to produce other people that make money. You figured out how to do business planning. You figured out how to lead people. You figured out how to manage a calendar. You figured out how to manage time. You figured out how to teach other people to manage time. You figured out how to develop leaders. You figured out how to teach leaders to develop other leaders. You figured out how to consistently predict your numbers, how to grow your numbers. You're understanding the business. You're understanding yourself. Everything is going right, right? And by right, I don't mean that everything's perfect, but you're executing. You have a plan, it's executing. And all these little challenges, they're not a big deal because you know that you're making that progress. You're clear. Everything, you're getting better. Like it's the best version of you that you've ever been, you know, from health, faith, family, leadership, reading, personal development, personal example. You're setting the right example. You figured this thing out. You figured out life. You figured out how to market yourself. You figured out how to grow. You figured out what works and what doesn't work. You figured out what works at different times of the year. You figured out what works with different personality types. You figured out how to lead different personality types. You figured out how not to lead different personality types. You've figured out this process. You're doing it. You're consistent. You built consistency. You're developing other leaders. Things are going right. And then you say, man, how do we get this to the next? How do we advance this? How do we recreate this? Keep the basics, but start adding maybe humor, fun, culture, dream selling, right? Strategy, man, right initiative, the right innovative campaign, man, the right strategy, the right contest at the right time, knowing what contest to run for what person. Like you finally are clear of what you're doing and you start advancing momentum. And guys, your life starts changing. Cash flow goes through the roof. You open up your bank account and you're like, what the hell just happened? I thought, you know, the last time I looked at this, it was, you know, 20,000. Now it's 72,000. Man, the last time I looked at it was 63,000. There's 142,000 in this account. Man, the last time I looked at this, we were at 800,000. Now we're at like 1.3 million. Where'd that 500,000 come from? Right? All of a sudden, life starts to change for you. The dreams start happening. You're getting the exotics. You're living in the right place, the right vacations you want to take. You're doing stuff for your family. You're becoming this person that you're proud of. And life becomes, you become addicted. You become obsessed with getting better because you know that tomorrow is going to be even better than today because you're doing all the right things to make a better tomorrow. So whatever phase you're in, understand that nothing is final. Meaning that if you're in frustrated and because you're in the creation phase, that's not forever, right? You got to keep doing it and then you're going to maintain it and then advance it. You got to know if you're in the maintaining phase that, hey, if you just keep threading water, you're eventually going to drown because you're going to get too tired. So you got to get to that next level or you'll go backwards to having to create momentum. I've also done that, right? Or maybe you're in the advancing stage and you're like, man, everything's good. Understand that you can have, if you slow down, you stop, you lose a little bit of that healthy paranoia, that you can go back and then you're going to have to just maintain the momentum, but you're not going to advance the momentum. If you can stay in advancing momentum, you're the 1% of 1%, and life is about to be a movie, and you are the director and the main actor. Please comment below, share this with people, subscribe to the channel, but please comment below your biggest takeaway. I love reading comments, and we're asking more and more people to comment because I want to know what you're getting from this and how we can do better as well. So, guys, with that being said, we'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.